So today I will be talking to you about study abroad as the pathway for creating a compelling future. And my talk is going to be small, maybe 5-10 minutes, right? Because this year I decided to change it up. I've been talking. Many people here have at least heard me talk once. Okay. So we decided that we're going to bring people who have taken action. We all know what I'm saying. Action. We say we're going to bring people who have taken action so that they will come and talk to us. It's like all these things Dr. Linda is saying. Are there even people that are implementing it? If there are people implementing it, are they getting results? I still maintain my position that study abroad is one great thing you can do for yourself right now. And there are many reasons. But it's like out of these many reasons, I'm just going to hammer on at least 3 points. Before I go on to start talking about that, myself, I'm someone who have reaped from study abroad, from getting scholarship, or not even, it didn't even start with the scholarship, right? Because the question is, why did I decide to even travel abroad in the first place? And this is a true life story, right? I finished school, as you all know, I'm a dentist, finished school with high hopes. My hopes were really very high. Who knows why my hopes were high? Okay, you raised your hand first. Yes, thank you. She said I made first class. Yeah, in medicine, they don't do first class, second class, third class, but they do like distinctions and passes. And she's still very correct. Even when you convert my grades to normal people's own, it is still first class. So I had great hopes. Why some people will be like, I don't know how life is going to be like. Somewhere in my mind, I was very sure it was going to be sweet. Little did I know. So, I remember when I finished school and it was time for us to, the first thing we needed to do was internship, and it was time for us to start applying. That was when it started getting clearer to me. It's like, I'm asking myself, what's going on? It seems this thing has been rigged though. What's going on? Because you buy form and you apply for the job and you have to travel to the place. And at the end of the day, you now start hearing some whispers. They don't already know who they want to give. Who have heard something like that? They don't already know who they want to give. You first say, no, that one cannot even be possible. Forget all these naysayers. You call them naysayers. What will happen is that at the end of the day, you see that somehow, no matter what you wrote at that interview, you didn't get the job, right? Or you won't get the job. It happened once, twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times, 6 times. And we're not even talking about the real job. This is internship job, which I was already feeling like, giving my grades and everything. Life go better, So it kept going. And I remember very well that when I was going for my 10th interview, in fact, before I went for that 10th interview, I went for another one. I'm going to prevent, I'll try not to call the name of the hospital, all right? But so because this thing was happening over and over again, somebody will now start asking you, who do you know? What do you mean, who do I know? I mean, who do you know for this job? No, I know myself. I can do this. I can write very well. If they give me this job, I can do it. That's not what we are talking about. Like, who do you know? It's almost like if you don't understand that language, ask somebody by your side. You know that kind of thing. So I decided that I was going to be proactive this time around. So I went to that hospital. We wrote the exams, and they were very strict. In fact, this was why it was so painful. They were very, very strict. They were like, this exam is on merit. This job is on merit. They hammered it into our ears, and they stressed us out. Like, we stood under the sun and everything. Because of what has been happening, I said, let me still try and see if there's somebody I can make calls to. So there was someone that used to live with us, with my family, like we're kind sort of neighbors in Abuja. So, and they know somebody in the military, something like that. I said, please, I apply for this job. I would like you to see if there's anything you can do, because I was getting, I was getting helpless, right? Like your grade does not matter at all. So I called the woman and she was very kind. She said, okay, she's going to call her relative. The relative is a major. And this is a true life story. I'm not making it up. The relative is a major, right? So she called the relative and later gave me feedback. What happened? The relative told her that he tried to submit my name. Sorry, I couldn't beat them, so I was joining them small. So the relative told her that he tried to submit my name and they told him that he came late. Came late? How? It turns out, again, this is true life story. It turns out that what this hospital, what they were doing, is a very big hospital in Lagos, actually. What they were doing is that all the people that want their names to enter the employment role or whatever, you have to submit your name before the exam is written, so that when they publish the results, those whose name were submitted will have ridiculously high score, and if your name was not submitted, you have a low score, and you will not really know what happened. You wrote well, but your score is low, so you will not fight anybody. Like that one shocked me. It shocked me. Like, seriously? No wonder they were hammering. It's based on merit. So when you see the list that will be published. You see so many people got 70s. Those are the people called for interview. You say, true, merit was what they used. Like, when I discovered that one, I was like I gave up. I gave up. And I really thought that, let me say, I wouldn't have believed this story if it's not that when they gave me that feedback, I was like, maybe they don't even want to help me. You know how people can be now? They will just tell you, we tried, it did not work. So there was another man, which that man was actually connected to my final relocation in one way or the other. So another man, when I now went to look for job again, if you have watched my webinar before, I mentioned a man who had a Canada flag on his decks, right? So that man is a top man, right? So I also spoke to him about helping me see if he can influence this job, and that one went with, I think maybe the person he contacted was a general, and it was the same story. They were telling him that he came late. So that was what, and these two people are independent. They don't know each other. That was what made me believe that what they were saying were actually true, because it's like two different persons saying the same thing. They don't know each other. So that is, I know we also have entrepreneurs here and all that, but if you really, really look back to at that point when you started looking for a job or something, you will find out that your story is similar in one way or the other. Your story is similar in one way or the other. Of course, there are many things that have happened, but I just choose to hammer on that one because it just shows you the level of hopelessness that sometimes people can experience, whether it's professionals, because sometimes it's not that you are looking for a job. It could be that you already have the job, but you are looking for promotion, right? So, the story can go on and on. But why is it that study abroad, how did study abroad enter this equation? When I decided to, somewhere in my head, it was more like saying, okay, you will not value my grade, Abby. You will not value all the things I've done, Abby. I will use it in another place where that thing is valued. And it was so surprising how a lot of professors abroad were responding to me. It's like, you send your grade, you send your transcript, you send in your CV, because I am someone who did a lot of community work as well. You send it in, and you are hearing like, wow. It's almost like you just be like what's so special? Really, you are special. It's just that when your environment beats you into submission, when your environment have made you condition your mind to start believing that whatever you have done and you are going to do, that's the easiest way to kill someone's motivation. Because now you are no longer interested in even bettering yourself. If you're interested in who do you know, so you can travel from here to Abuja just to know somebody. That same time you will have used it to do something else. So what baffled me was how professors abroad were replying. Even some that would tell me they did not have money, they'll be like funds to fund my education. They'll be like, oh, but your CV is very good. Oh, you did this. Let's have interview. Myself, I was really shocked. And that shock continued until a supervisor pledged over $30,000 for my first year. Yeah, myself, I'm looking like, okay, you get sense. It's still me, that even my professor in school, that's where I graduated from, if you even call him and say, please, can you write referee? You say, stop disturbing me, or reference letter. You say, stop disturbing. Like, it's as if like nobody cares. But that thing you have, there is somewhere else. There's some place where somebody is just looking to see somebody like you. In every literally sense of the word jackpot, you understand? When people talk of jackpot, they hardly talk about it from like, let me go, let somebody appreciate me, let me be better, and let me see how I can make the system better. It's almost like, I go come on, leave now. I don't go. I really don't want us to interpret it that way. It's something that some other people are going to do. But I strongly believe that I'm talking to leaders. So as leaders, let me gist you. When you come abroad, prepare to wash plates. Truth is bitter. I washed plates. Some days I'll go home, I'll cry. A dentist working in a restaurant, they will not be teaching me how to wash the plate. That's the annoying part. Prepare to do things. Why am I saying this? You know this Bible story where someone says, in my father's house, I used to eat more than this. If you're a leader and you just go abroad and disappear, the suffering that will meet you, after some time, you want to even return to Nigeria because you'll be like, I beg. So I truly don't believe that just going abroad it should be the end for any leader, right? I truly don't believe that it should be the end. However, your goal should be to get what you need, so that even the place you are coming from can value you more. I will always try to correct that mindset that don't look at it like study abroad maybe with japa. No, but look at it like you are going there to get something that makes you better, makes you a global citizen. You want it to be that. Haven't you noticed when you start making waves, they will now start adding Nigerian to your name? You see all these guys that maybe they will relocate to UK, from there they will start, let's say somebody that just won gold medal recently. Everybody now will now be like, he's from our country or she's from our country. Do you get? That's when you have become a global citizen now. 2 or 3 countries will be claiming you. That should really be the goal. It's like you want to rise above a particular nationality, because we are all Earth citizens, right? When you talk about study abroad, some people feel like maybe these are just for people who work and they want a better life. What if I'm an entrepreneur? I strongly believe that whether you are an intrapreneur working in a company or you are an entrepreneur working for yourself, study abroad will make a huge difference for you. Let me start. Me, God has really blessed me in such a way that many of the things I say to people, they are things myself have passed through. Do you know that, let's assume you do a business now. You're a fashion designer and you reside in a particular city and you're doing your business. People are patronizing you, normal, they are patronizing you. Now, let's say you went to Canada to study and you still want to continue with that your fashion design, and now you make okay, you worked, you made some dollars, you decided to bring out a clothing line, and then I say, or you even want to still continue the same, like someone is making your dress, right? Something, or you make people's dresses. By the time you say, even you are still selling to somebody in that same city where you have been all this while, and you're like, well, in fact, first of all, you first call them with international number to discuss the price, while other people are charging 100k naira for that same job. You will charge $500 minimum, and the person will still be happy to pay. In fact, they may even pay for your flight for you to fly down to come and take that measurement. This safe, when you see them wearing that kind of clothes at the red carpet, the kind of noise they will make will be different. So what am I trying to portray? You can still do what you are doing, but if by just adding their broad vibes, you're already making a difference in your own business. You will not charge the same. And that's let me say, that's first step. Let's assume that you also went abroad to study fashion designing. There is a chance that the way you will do things will be different from the way others will do things. Why? First of all, those persons have been open to one set of idea, one type of business, one way of doing it. The person comes, you take the person's measurement and you do it. You may, let's say you go to another country, you see a different way. Maybe now those people, they are using machines to manufacture. That may just be the source you will add to your existing business that will make you blow more than you're already doing now. So don't even think that if you're an entrepreneur, you should throw away everything you know about business and just relocate abroad. Even while you're abroad, be looking for what is that idea that you can get from this your new location that you can add to what you're already doing so that you can stand out. Okay, so I want you to know that traveling abroad or studying abroad can be a source of inspiration for you. Whether even let me give you an example now. If one is working abroad, let's say a place like Canada, the way they keep to time, the way they monitor what you are doing when you are doing it. In fact, for Vantage migration, there have been times where some of the things we implement are things I learned from businesses in Canada that are not necessarily the things that are obtainable if I were just to do it the Nigerian way. And it's not really something about like, okay, Canada is best and Nigeria is not. No. We all know, if you go to a party now and they say, will you eat only jollof rice or jollof rice on one side, fried rice on the other? Which one will you take? I know that I will take the one that have both too, because it will be more colorful, right? So when you are combining knowledge from different countries, it almost always stands out compared to if all the inspiration you have is from one place, from one culture. As people coming from developing countries or what we call low-income countries, we need to travel abroad. You are used to doing something one way. In fact, sometimes you even think that this is the best it can be. This is the best it can be. But when you go to another place and see what is obtainable, it's very easy for you to borrow something from there. For you to even know that, okay, your country can be better. Who are the top presidential candidates? Top 3. Okay, now let me ask you, out of these 3 candidates, how many of them studied abroad? 2 out of the 3 studied abroad. So sometimes what comes to my mind is this: how come even a lot of leaders, like I was so shocked at the emo events that we had. We also had Patutomi. Someone was making a comment and then said, when Patutomi finished his PhD from US, I was like, okay, he studied abroad. Like, many top leaders today that are even trying to move the country forward, whether you believe in their style or not, one way or the other, they have something to do with abroad. So is it a coincidence that somehow these people have one kind abroad connection? So, in fact, for me, it is a motivation, or is a way to say, this is what I'm saying. You don't need to go abroad and disappear and continue to watch play somewhere. No, you have a country that can give you so many things. Nigeria have given me so many things. So sometimes when I tell myself, I'll say, I wouldn't even like to have it any other way. Imagine I was born in Canada. I won't meet these people. It's difficult to see that blessing if all you do is stay where you are. But when you travel and you're able to collect the ass from those people, you come home, you break your own firewood. Because sometimes what is happening in many African countries is that we have the firewood. Sometimes we don't have the ass to break it, so we are still hungry. We have the resources, but it's like the resources are not harnessed. So the main reason for going abroad is to collect collect kerosene, so that you pour it on the resources you have and they can begin to multiply. And it can be different for different persons. Okay? So people from low income countries, it is very important for us to travel to developed countries, because it gives you an opportunity to see things differently, to see, even when, I went to Dubai this month, actually, like maybe 3 weeks ago. I remember going for a water game or something, and somebody was making a joke and said, shark will have eaten you or something like that. Another person, I said, that thing is not connected to ocean now. They created their own. Myself, I was looking like, wow. Like, even the Dubai I went to, I learned something from there. How Dubai has so much oil, but still, in fact, they still made tourism one of the major source of income. If you see the way Dubai advertise themselves, you think Dubai is a company, right? Like everywhere, even my GT Bank app. If you want to log in, you see Dubai somewhere by the side. Dubai everywhere. They advertise themselves as if they're a company, but this is a country that still have oil. So I said to myself, and we have oil, and we've decided that oil is going to be the only thing. Do you see? So even as I went to Dubai, I was learning something. If you don't travel to another place, how will you even know that things can be done differently? I keep saying it. We from low-income countries, it's important to travel to, especially the high-income countries. You will see things it can be something small, but it can inspire you. Sometimes I meet a lot of people that they'll be like, maybe they went abroad to study or something. They'll be like, I'm coming back. I have this solution I want to come and implement. Really, though, I think that sometimes I'll be like, hey, guy, relax. So, someone told me, he said, I've seen, because he studied something mechanical engineering and he worked with the city where traffic light works. You understand? So he was like, I know exactly how they do it. I'm coming back to Nigeria. I'll come and implement traffic system. Like, don't just do it like that. So you don't just cut and paste. You understand? Because there are other factors you have to put in place. So I'm not encouraging cut and paste method. No. But let what you are seeing, once you travel abroad, let what you are seeing inspire the next thing you are going to do. Inspire, it will, like, you will remember something. So keep that in mind. How study abroad can be different from other travel abroad experiences, right? Including, it provides you an elongated learning period. Like, because you can network when you go for conferences, true of us. Even if you visit a relative and in the process you follow them to church or to mosques, you shall meet one or two persons, right? And if it is at a conference, you still meet people of like minds coming from maybe for that particular topic or your industry, depending on the type of conferences. But when it comes to study abroad, most times, most of the studies are like minimum 8 months, 1 year, 2 years. If it's PhD, you're looking at 4 or 5 years. It's like within that period, you immerse yourself into that culture. I truly got to know that Most times when you travel abroad, let's say for conferences and all that, sharp sharp, everything has finished. In fact, you'll be seeing the good side of that country only, because the organizers of the conference will take you to all the sweet spots. So if what you're using to judge a country is all the things you saw when you came to the place, it's a one-sided story. But when you are living there, maybe you've lived there for 1 year, you see the good, the bad, and the ugly. You'll be able to see, okay, wow, these are the things I can do in my place, or this is how these things really work. For example, you'll be able to go to a workplace. Let's say you're a student and you are working. You'll be able to go to a workplace, interact with employers, go for different interviews, see what they are looking out for, work in that place, see how their system run. Some of these opportunities, you don't have it during a short stay of 1 week or few days. But when you live in a place for 1 year, you gain more. Of course, the longer you live, the more things you learn from the place. Abroad is not like all sugar. Do you get? There's the sugar, there is the bitter cola. So, but what I wanted to bring out is that sometimes for you to really understand how a place works, you need to stay there for time, right? And so you can conferences and come back and all that. If you go there to study abroad, which gives you an elongated stay, a deeper immersion, you are more likely to learn more from that experience. Okay, so what I want to say is this: whether you are someone who believes that Nigeria will be the best country in the world and you are going to be one of the leaders, or you are someone who believes that you rather not wait, you go to Canada and be cooling off first, while he's like, while we are marinating, like we are getting there, whichever camp you belong to, study abroad is still important. That's why I brought the option, the topic of think of our leaders. How many of them have travel abroad experience? How many of them have studied abroad? So you still see that last, who are the people that are being selected to lead? The person that have foreign degree. In fact, who is more likely to have something new to offer to the existing system? Is it not the person that at least have gone to see how it is done somewhere else? It's still that person. So even if you want to stay, go out, get that degree, get that experience, learn something new, and bring it to help develop the country. And if you so decide that, okay, you want to remain there permanently, it is your choice. Nobody's going to take that away from you. It is your choice. But study abroad can help you achieve both. Because as we still know, study abroad is a legit relocation pathway. So if you want to stay, that's fine. If you want to go and come back, that's fine. But if you say that you're not going anywhere, you're also shooting yourself on your feet. So do all you can to study abroad. Thank you very much.